Hey, what's up, everybody? We got our price target. Wow, that was an insane dump yesterday. Instead of an explosion like a firework, we got an implosion. Interesting. Welcome to summertime, baby, where you get these massive, boring price action and then followed by, a big dump, right? That's kind of like summer in a nutshell. But the big question is the worst over? Well, let's talk about it. Let's jump in here. I mean, this is exactly what we wanted to see. And what I'm talking about is no, not Bitcoin taking out the low, but Bitcoin getting a fifth wave, right? That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see 5 waves to confirm a C leg. We also wanted to see bullish divergence between the fourth and the fifth. And right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 waves. And let me turn on the divergence here on the RSI. It's not great, but it's there, right? We have, you could see bullish divergence between the fourth and the fifth of this leg. That's exactly what we wanted to see. So we got it, right? So basically, now it comes down to who has the guts to take a stab at this price here. I mean, I'm not saying it's finished, but if you're trading or dollar cost averaging, yesterday I was staring at these charts like a hawk, and I really saw, like, after I was done with the video, I was thinking, man, this thing is just booking it to the downside. I mean, this is just way oversold. This has to be a scare, sort of shake you out of your position type of situation where a lot of people were on edge, and not just because of the dump, but because we took out this low here, right? So let me put 2 lines there, one on the wick, one on the close. You could see right there, wick and close. And we had a very strong impulse to the downside that didn't even flinch the first support here. We continued to fall, and then look at this. We had a massive dump here that took out this area here. And that is where the liquidity lies. And that's where I've always said the liquidity lies underneath, right? Above resistance, it lies below support. And I always use this example, right? If a millionaire, right, he wants to buy, let's say, $5 million worth of Bitcoin, he can't just buy it whenever he wants. He needs certain liquidity pockets in the market. And the market makers, they like to target liquidity. The market goes where the liquidity is, right? So if the liquidity is down here, that's where they're going to push price towards, right? So you can see this is a massive range here. I don't like how there's no points over here, but it is what it is. I mean, this technically was in the same price vicinity going back to February, right? So when we look at this whole thing as a potential range here, you can see what happened. We broke below the range. So if this is a Wyckoff structure, that's a good buy. If this is an ABC, that's a good buy. If this is a 5-wave move, that's a good buy. If this is bullish divergence between the fourth and the fifth, that is a good buy. Now, doesn't mean the exact bottom is in. We're still hunting for a bottom here, right? We're still hunting for a bottom. And once that bottom is in, then we start the bottoming process in which, we hash out a base or whatever. But yeah, after I was done with that video, I was staring at these charts and I was like, man, there's got to be a good opportunity here. It just reminded me of capitulation. It reminded me of, the final ending wave. And that's another thing too. When you have 5 waves or a C leg here, right? A, B, C, and then you're in the middle of the C wave. The C wave, that ending wave, is always the fastest and it's always the most aggressive, right? So that's another checkpoint right, of reasons why to potentially buy. Not financial advice, right? I could be wrong. This thing could be just getting started, right? And there are ideas for that as well. One of them being back testing this area down in here, right? So we came up, here's some resistance, support, right? We haven't back tested it as support. And basically that's the 50K, 47K area, right? So that's another $10,000. And I just don't really see that happening, at least right now. I mean, maybe, maybe that's what we get, but I'm just having a little bit of a hard time seeing that. We could totally get there, but I want to see some kind of pullback, right? We need a pullback, right? If you have a five-wave move to the downside, it doesn't just keep going down. It doesn't make sense. You need some kind of pullback here. So this is what we're going to be looking for over the next, several weeks and even possibly months is, can this sort of, hash out a bottom in here, basically a base. Maybe we get some kind of Wyckoff structure, right, where we kind of come down, we build the spring, we come back up, we play around, break out. That's a bottoming structure right there, right? But notice, look at that. That's actually a lower low than here, right? So you spend, right? A bottoming process is very hard, just like a topping process, right? It could be very grueling. The reason why is because you come all the way down, you think you got a very good price, and you did, but then it comes back up, you're feeling good about yourself, you come back down, you buy the dip, you come back up, you're feeling good, but then you come back and you take out the low. You take out the low, so now you're underwater. So basically you waited like a whole month, right, of feeling good, and you bought the low, but now you're underwater. But really that was just gathering the spring before the next markup phase. So that's just one little example there. But for me, another thing as well is, I haven't talked about this, but I don't really follow it too much, but I do. I talk about bullish divergence all the time, but we also have, ladies and gentlemen, hidden bullish divergence. So you have two divergences, right? I usually don't talk about hidden, but that's because it's always hiding from me. No, because hidden bullish divergence, it has a way of playing out, but then again, I just find it better with regular divergence, especially on our current moves. But we do have massive bullish divergence here, and let me show you. So you can see here's our leg here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's our 5-wave move. So let's start at the bottom here. So where's the RSI? The RSI is literally right here, right at what is that? The 50 line or so, 47. Okay. So then we had our 5 waves up, all the way up, right? RSI went up as well. And then we had this ABC pullback. So here's the bottom way down here. Here's the pullback. So you got to draw a line from here all the way up there. That's the difference between where we are. But wait, look at the RSI, right? When you look at the RSI here, you can see that it is actually at the same level as it was when it first started off down in here, right? It's at the same exact level, right? But look at this. The price is at a much, 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 much higher level. So that, my friends, is hidden bullish divergence. And we have it massively, not just on the daily, but we have it on the weekly chart. So we have it on the big, big, big boy, right? So that is another reason why, rather if you're trading or dollar cost averaging, I think that is opportunity. More so, I would say, for trading, because sometimes, when you get oversold, you get these big bounces, but that's all they turn out to be, is a 3-way bounce, and then you cut the trade. But hey, you made money, right? You made money. But your hodl position, that's a different situation. Now, for me, for spot and me accumulating, I don't mind the price going a little bit lower, whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, it's, you know, you're buying spot. Now, if you're trading leverage, you have to be very careful of where you buy and where you pick your spots. So for me, I don't have, when I'm buying on an exchange with leverage, I don't have an intention of holding it for that bigger swing trade, unless there's evidence to say, yeah, it's going to play out that way. But for me, yesterday, like I said, I was staring at the charts, and I took a stab at it. You know, let's try to catch a falling knife, shall we? So I went ahead and did so, and let's go to Theta. So I bought Theta, and I'm going to show you what I did here. So Theta, right? We were just, and it's hilarious because we were just talking about Theta yesterday potentially hitting $1.15, and literally like 3 to 4 hours after that video, we hit $1.15, $1.17. Well, actually, it was $1.17. I was really eyeballing. That was where I had my order set, right? $1.17, $1.18. That's where I had my order set. I'll go ahead and show you my order in a second. But essentially, you know, back testing this range here. We haven't lost the range, right? Now, it's okay if we wick below it here. That's okay. We actually got as low as, I mean, I think the bottom, man, it's, you know, I don't really want to go on record saying it, but man, I'm really starting to feel like it's getting very close. I mean, we hit $1.13. So if we go any lower, then that really screws up the integrity of the 1-2-1-2, and then we also get too close to the second 2 wave here. We don't want, if this is a 1-2-1-2 right here, 1-2-1-2, and we're going to get a big third wave, right? Or even if this is 1-2-3-4-5, the problem is the third wave, right? Or this fourth wave, if it is a 5 wave, is overlapping into price wave 1, which means it's a 1-2-1-2. But if it overlaps in the price vicinity of the first 1-2, the second wave here, then it really, you know, it starts to look more like a reversal, right? Because we don't want this thing to get too extended. I mean, Theta has fallen, let's see, from the top here, roughly, 70%. So we had a 70. Did you survive? Did you make it? Are you okay? You need me to help you up? Are you okay? Right? We had a 70% fall, and we're still here. We're still talking. We're still breathing. We're still alive. Everything's okay. You know, and that's one of the things, right? When I remember when we were breaking out of this here, you know, and when we had this massive weekly candle, everybody was so bullish, excited, let's go, right? But I've always erred on the side of caution, right? This is very bullish, but in the time coming, we could come all the way back down to back test these areas, which doesn't sound like fun, right? But we're here. I think, the worst is over, at least for a little bit, right? Because the real way you know if it's over is the following weeks to come. What happens down in here, right? So the way you kind of know is, do we go up in 3? Do we go up in 3 waves? Do we go up correctively, right? Do we start building some kind of bear flag like that? Then I'm going to say, yeah, we might need one more hit to the low. But then in that case, you wouldn't have an ABC anymore. This would actually be a sort of an impulse, right? You have an impulse to the downside, a 3-way pullback, and now you're impulsing again, right? So that's the thing. We don't want the next several months to be corrective. We want it to be consolidating, but we want it to be getting the heck out of here, impulsing, right? Because if we build a base in here, right, let's say we oscillate, maybe have even a slightly lower low. Maybe we get down to $1 or what is this area right in here? $1.03, $1.06. We cannot break below $1. If we break below $1, it's not going to be good. It basically, I'm still going to hodl my Theta. I'm still going to be a long-term believer. But all that does is it just delays the inevitable, which is eventually gonna happen one way or another. So right now, again, let me go to the 2-day chart here, and you can see pretty dang clearly, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what we were cautioning all in here. We could get another wave to the downside, and that's exactly what we got. Did I know that was going to happen? No. But is it good that it did happen? It kind of is. Why? Because now we have 5 waves. We also have bullish divergence as well on the 2-day chart, I might add, right? So that's also good. Let's see if I go to a higher time frame. You can also see hidden bullish divergence right here. I mean, wow, that's pretty strong. Look at this. You can see all the way here, right? Typically, you want it flat or going down versus all the way up here. So that's going up, that's going flat. So that's hidden bull right there. So basically, the RSI on the 4-day chart is in the same spot it was when I first started my channel back over here when Theta was 64 cents. That's when I called publicly on the channel for a retracement. Now, is that retracement in? I mean, it's possible. We had a 3-wave move. I would have liked to seen it get a little bit higher, and I still think it will. But I think we need definitely a lot of work in here to fix it, right? So again, if you're a hodler, if you're an investor, if you're a long-term believer, if you have that inner conviction of what crypto actually is and how it can benefit our financial system, and we don't live, again, in a people system. We live in a central banking fiat currency debt enslavement system, right? And crypto is a threat to their system. But they have to embrace it. They have to pretend to like it because it's too big for them to take down, right? So while they're sort of lollygagging in the background, not getting regulations, sort of stalling on the ETF, right? All these little things add up. Meanwhile, in the background, what are they trying to do? They're trying to create their CBDC, their central bank digital currency. Once that is in place and they launch it and all this stuff, then they have, the upper hand, right? Now they have sort of that control factor, and then they can let crypto ride. But I don't think that's going to work for them. People don't want to be surveilled through their currency, right? Just like they don't want to be surveilled through their internet searches and basically their entire lives, right? Crypto is kind of like the VPN for the internet. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is. Crypto is like the VPN for the internet. So, again, if I'm hodling, I'm investing, I'm not. This is actually, the best situation, right? Depending if you have extra cash laying around, right? And that's where you got to be disciplined, because a lot of people, I would think, probably went too heavy here on the bull market support, and I did as well. I guarantee I bought probably a little bit too much here. It was looking like a really nice shape. The setup was there. We had a 1-2, 1-2. Bitcoin was looking bullish. But you know what? At the end of the day, the price was too heavy and we needed to come back down to backtest. So we always have cash reserves to the side in case we get something massive like this, right? And which we did. So, again, real quick here, the issue that is going to come up is, again, how does this form in here? Right? Are we going to get some kind of 3-way pullback, or are we going to get some kind of Wyckoff structure in here where we take off like that? Are we going to build an ascending triangle, right? Are we going to build maybe some inverse head and shoulders pattern. I mean, that's also an idea as well. So there's a lot of different things that can happen over basically the month of July. So the month of July is basically trying to figure out how this goes. I don't think we're going to keep dumping. Let's get that straight. I don't think we might have another low, like a secondary low, but I don't think it's going to be this sort of dramatic. I mean, that candle alone was about 27%. So that's pretty big, right? Given that we've already fallen quite a bit. So we're getting exhausted to the downside. Now, the RSI, on the other hand, again, we have bullish divergence. Let's look at the weekly chart here. I'm going to get back to Bitcoin. We're going to talk about XRP. You know, the weekly chart still has room to the downside. So just know that, right? And even still, right, even though that I took a stab yesterday, you know, like I said, I was staring at the charts and I went ahead and took a stab at it. And let's look at that here on the smaller time frame. So let's go to the 1 hour chart. You can kind of see like how it's wavy. See, it's kind of wave, and then it gets faster, right? And then it's, you know, it kind of pulls up and then it goes really, really fast, just like straight down. So that's when I'm like, okay, this is getting very dramatic here. So that's when I took a stab at it. So I believe it was at $1.19. So let me go check. So here's my thing here. Oh, actually it was $1.18, right? I mean, yesterday I was saying, give me $1.17. I kind of missed it. So I'm like, okay, well, give me $1.18. So I put my limit order in at $1.18. And at 16x leverage, I mean, I'm already up 100%. You know what I mean? So not to be sort of look at me, but more so like, hey, if I'm confident at taking a stab, then that might say something, right? Because actions speak louder than words. You know, people on YouTube can say, you know, oh, you know, the bottom is in, or oh, we have this to do, or whatever. But unless they don't put their money where their mouth is, then they could just be talking, right? So I have the actual proof to back it up that, hey, I'm feeling pretty good here. Enough for me to put my own money on the line. Not only that, but at a 16x here. Now, I don't plan on holding this. I do have a stop loss. Now, keep that in mind. But we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. It could be a dead cat bounce. It probably is a dead cat bounce. We probably need another low. But, you know, I took a stab at it. So I also got XRP. You know, when we dropped below 40 cents, I really wanted 37. I couldn't get it, so I settled with 39. Notice the leverage is lower because I feel less confident with it than Theta. But you know, it did pretty good. It went up, I think it's about 42 cents or so. You know, because here's the thing also, what gave me that sort of conviction, and you can say, well, why does this all matter? Because the more experience you can get, the better you're going to be equipped. And if I can share my experience with you on the thought process of how I do it, it's going to make not only yourself a better trader, but the psychology of and the thought process of how we get there, right? So yeah, that's XRP, and then I decided, you know, I'm still I actually bought CRV, and I was talking about it, right? Remember I was saying I was getting into that. I actually canceled that trade. I actually got stopped out of my CRV. So I basically, when we had that big dump, I actually lost some money on that trade, but I got stopped out, so it saved me. But that was all canceled out. But I still wanted CRV. I still, you know, if you go back to that video that I was talking about, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, like maybe a generational or even a cycle low. So I took a stab at it. And you can see it's only 3x. So I don't recommend anybody using leverage if you don't have a proper strategy. If you want to play with it, definitely don't go more than 3. Because you'll learn very fast how bad it sucks when you lose. And trust me, I've lost plenty. And when you lose, it basically gives you emotional trauma. And it basically kind of gives you a scar, right? It's a scar, it reminds you every day. And it kind of gives you like PTSD almost, right? It's painful. So when you experience something like that, you never want it to happen again. So you take extraordinary precautions so that it doesn't happen. Practice, right? Practice. Anyways, hopefully everybody had a good 4th of July. Mine was cool. We were just out in the back, just having fun and doing some crazy stuff, right? So hopefully everybody had a 4th of July. You can see my dog didn't like that. He tried to bite it. But yeah, everybody had a good time, and we're just hanging out, having fun. Independence Day. So just like we claim independence from Britain, for me it's not about that. I mean, even though that was the most important thing in history for Americans, but it's more so about claiming independence over our own money and our own sovereignty over, right, over the central banks, right? Because that's who really controls things around here now. So Theta, right? You can see we got a bounce. I'm gonna put $1.18. Now this is a different exchange. I was using Bitrue, so it's gonna be off. So that was my entry right there. I think I grabbed it right here. I don't remember. But I saw this huge candle here, and then I saw this doji, right? And then I saw it get retested, and then it bought back up, and I think that's where I grabbed it. But this could easily come back down, guys. Because so far in this wave, I even talked about it yesterday. We have 1, 2. This could be 3, 4, and 5. Now on the microstructure, we want a slightly lower low. So here we don't have any bullish divergence on this exact structure here. So, for example, right, we have bullish divergence on the overall wave, but not on the micro, not on this immediate wave here. So, we had a pretty big strong bounce here, but you can kind of see we're getting bearish divergence from here to here, hidden bear, right? So we got to be careful with that. This would actually be a good place for me to take some profit off of my trade. But that's another thing. You don't want to be too stubborn and just hold on to it thinking that you're in a good spot. But essentially, we want the RSI to come back down and make a higher low. So here's your low, here's your higher low. But we want this to come down and make a lower low. That way we can get bullish divergence, and that would be a second entry for me. If we can get that, that would be great. Now, sometimes you don't always catch that. So then what you would wait for, right, is a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say we get 5 waves, and then we have an ABC pullback. That's where I would want to go long, right there. So if we come down, have that bullish divergence, maybe take a little bit of a stab there. If we get 5 waves up, great, let it go. Don't chase it, just let it go. Then because we don't know if it's going to be 5, right? It could be 3. But if it turns out to be 5, then we're like, okay, now we're good. We're in the money here. Then we're going to get a 3-way pullback. And then like yesterday, I was saying this could be, or no, never mind, that was something else. But it's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders here, right? So if we get something like that, I think we can get at least a short-term reversal here, to come back up and to test, this area up in here, the breakdown level, right? Because again, just like you're back testing from the downside, you also got to back test from the upside too, right? And vice versa. So we're basically in this range here, right? Or actually, let me flip it upside down. Here we go. So this is upside down. We're basically in a range. We're consolidating. We break out of the range, right? And then maybe we get another hit to the high. We get that divergence. We come back, right? And we get a three-way pullback here. 5 waves, 3-way pullback. And then we start breaking out. That is going to tell me, okay, now we're going to come back and back test this area. About $1.45, $1.47, right? So that's kind of my target, is $1.47, $1.45. So when I flip it back right side up, that's kind of what we're seeing. So that's going to be interesting. So if we can get up there, guys, if we can get up there, then, you know, if this turns into 1, 2, 3, and hopefully we can get 4, 5, that would be really, really good, right? If we can get up there. And then what we would wait for is another ABC all the way back down to $1.16, $1.17. It's, you know, we can actually go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And this is kind of, not to say a prediction, but this is kind of what I would expect here, right? I would expect this to end. We get 5 waves down, another low, and that low can come at $1.06, right? $1.05, somewhere very scary where we don't want to be. But you know, and then if we get 5 waves up, then I'm going to buy the 3-way pullback. And then if we get another 5 waves up, then I'm going to take my profit, because now we only have 3 waves. We have an ABC. But if we pull back and get another wave, that's going to be 5, and I'm going to be happy. Right? I'm not going to go buy. I'm just going to wait, because then we had 5 waves. Then we get an ABC all the way back down, right? Let's say we get up to $1.50, $1.60, and then we got to go all the way back down to $1.20. That's going to really drive people insane. That's going to really, you know, make people want to quit, right? Because they just had all of this pain, and now they have relief. Now they're starting to feel a little bit better, only to then get hit again, right? Not taking out the low, though, but just to come down and to, you know, scare you again at the low here, right? And that's where I would buy, right here. So now that's a long shot. That's a lot of steps forward, right? I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 steps ahead. Now I have no clue if that's what it's going to do. But if it's something along those lines, then that's what I want to see. This is what I want to see for the bottom to be in. And then we can get a powerful move to the upside, right? And when I zoom out, what that looks like is something like that, right? And then let me actually do this. So that would be our bottoming process right here. Right, and this could be part of a bigger range as well before breaking out, right? So that's what we want to see. We want to see this base be held as support. So there's your low, and we want this to be a higher low, right? We don't want to go below this first wave up here. So we don't want to go below $1.04. So if we can stay above $1.04, $1.05, then we can still have that 1, 2 intact. But the way I see it for Theta, I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 waves down on the large time frame, and in the 5th wave we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So in the 5th wave, we have 5 waves, and we have bullish divergence. And now on the 5th of the 5th, right? So let me just draw it one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we need 5 waves here, right? So let me zoom back in real quick. Do we have 5 waves here? No, we don't. I don't think we do. I mean, if this gets really, really impulsive, then it's going to be too big for a 4th wave. So, you know, it is a little bit tricky to count. but I'm imagining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get bullish divergence here, just like we just talked about. And that, my friends, would be 5 waves in that degree, right? And then also 5 waves in this degree, and then 5 waves in the whole thing. So, I mean, we got 5, 5, 5, 5. I mean, that's, if you're afraid to buy at that point, then man, I mean, that's like the best situation. And then you have hidden bullish divergence, right? So, yeah, I think we're getting close, guys. I think we're getting close. I mean, think about it. Where did we land at here? Theta is up about 12%. So that's pretty dang good, right? We're up 12%. Let's see, you know, that's a lot of red candles too. And that's another thing. I was looking at these candles. I'm like, these are 4-hour candles. Red, 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 red. And then a massive dump down, right? So when I turned on the sequential, we actually had 2 9s. We had a 9 here, but it was only beginning the wave. And then we had another 9 here, right? Which isn't too perfected, but it is what it is. On the 6-hour chart, doesn't look like we got a 9. So, yeah, it's looking decent for at least a bounce here. Now, is that bounce done? Maybe, right? We'll have to wait and see. But let's jump back over to Bitcoin here. Okay, and I want to show you this on Bitcoin. I know it doesn't feel good. I know you're looking at your portfolio thinking, man, I'm an idiot. But trust me, you're not an idiot. You're smart. You're in crypto for a reason, because you know ultimately where it's going. So this little pit stop here, it's just like in life, right? You know, life isn't just a straight direction. You got ups, you got downs, you got things in between, but you never give up. And that's the whole point, right? I mean, I always go back to this. The stock market or crypto market, right, is a device for transferring money or wealth from the impatient to the patient. So, you know, if people are capitulating, they're scared, they're running away, you know, that's usually, that's why Elliott waves are 5 waves, because that first wave is like, yeah, it's nothing. Then you get the second wave, the pullback, yeah, see, it's going down. Then you get the big third wave. Whoa, that was a big wave. And then now they're starting to take it seriously. You know, it's still nothing. Then you get the fourth wave. Yeah, see, I told you it's coming back. And then you get that fifth wave. And now people are like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I got to get out. So it's like you have really 3 waves. You have the first wave up, second wave down. You don't count that. Third wave up, and then the 5th wave up. So you really have 3 waves to the upside. The first, the third, and the 5th. And the first, people don't really notice. The third, they really notice because it's big, but they think maybe it's over. And then when you get the 5th, now they're like, I can't take anymore, I got to get out. Or, I can't take it anymore, I got to get in, right? It's the same thing when you have 5 waves to the upside. It seems incredibly bullish, and you just don't want to miss out because it's going wave after wave. But usually when you get 5 waves, you get 3 waves back. So, you know, it's all about being patient about it. But this is what I wanted to show you. Look at the massive, guys. This is massive. 1 second here. You can see where the RSI is, right? So we have some strong hidden bullish divergence here. You can see from here up to here, right? Now that's not a trend line, that's just a line showing you we're going up, right? And this line is showing you we're at the same level. The RSI is at the same level it was when Bitcoin was at 28K, right? So that is hidden bullish divergence right there. And it gets even, you know, if this comes down even further, now the RSI is even lower. Now you have extreme hidden bullish divergence, right? So you can see, you know, there's 2 different bullish divergences, right? So this one, where are we at here? About 26, 27, 28K. We come all the way up. We have a 5-way move. Same thing here, right? So anyway, I already showed you that in the beginning. I wanted to show it to you again, right? Because I think it's very important here. I don't really show hidden bull that often, but I do when it's necessary. Yeah, so when I look at the price of Bitcoin on the weekly chart, I mean, we have a clear weekly 3-wave move. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 waves, right? And that 3 waves is coming off of a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So you have to imagine, okay, right? We had 5 waves up, 3 waves down. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. What happens next? Well, you would want another 5 waves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? So that's what we want to see. Right? Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen today, tomorrow, next week. I mean, that could take a lot of time, right? I mean, that could take plenty of time. This is the weekly chart. We can actually build a base here from now all the way till October, right? Imagine going sideways in a range, for, until October, right? And to me, I think it's good that we're getting it out of the way in the summer, because the more bearish and the more downside and the more capitulation, sell-off, liquidations, all that stuff, the more we can have of that in the summer, the better we are for having a big pumping October, November, December, right? Because crypto is definitely seasonality, right? I mean, it stood the test of time. I always talk about summer, be cautious, and sure enough, we're getting a lot of bearishness in the summer. Now, a lot of bearishness in the summer is often followed by a lot of bullishness in the fall and the winter, right? So fall, winter, especially winter, and spring, right, like March, April, that time frame is very bullish, right? And then also October, November, December. Basically after Halloween is when things get really bullish. Typically from a seasonality perspective. So what I'm saying is, we've been going down since when? Since April, right? I mean, we've been very bullish all spring, February, right? Even going back over here, this is where October started, right? You can see this massive wave started from down here all the way up here. When did it start, guys? When did it start? It started, right? We actually dumped here in the summer. This was the big dump that happened in the summer. Well, guess what? It's the summer, and here's the big dump. And then what happened? And then we went sideways into what? Into September, October. And then what happened? Once we got into October, what happened? We exploded. We exploded to the upside, right? And now we're in November. We had a little bit of pullback. And now January, right? Very bullish. February, March, right? And April. So this was October. Basically, October through April is bullish. That's just the way it is. And then even going back over here, right, you can see December, we bottomed out, right? January, February, March, April was actually bullish. And then we had to have this summer sideways action. So I think this is just summer sideways action, essentially, right? So if I take a bars pattern and I basically take it from this drop down bar here, and I'll go up to about there, and then if I take that and I put it right there, okay, so that's kind of what we should want to see here, right? We want to see something like that. And if we get something like that, I think the bull market is over with. It's just sad to say, but that's just what it is, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're thinking, how can my little itty bitty altcoin make me a millionaire if Bitcoin only has one little way to go? You would definitely be surprised, guys. You would definitely be surprised. Now, Now, sometimes it's not so clear cut and dry, right? Now, that's just too perfect, right? Are the market makers going to paint something too easy? There's always some shenanigans. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks too good. It looks too perfect, right? So it tells me something else is maybe could happen here, right? Which is what? This could potentially get a little bit more complex. What do I mean by that? Well, we had 3. We can easily get another 3, right? Let me actually do that a little better. So 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and then another 1, 2, 3, or even 5, right? So something like that. So we have 3 down, 3 up, 3 back down. So that becomes 3 itself. 1, 2, 3. W, X, Y. W, X, Y. So we could get something more complex, guys. And then have that final wave to the upside. That 5-way move to the upside, right? Now, if this comes up and then it gets rejected and it comes back down, then we're going into reaccumulation, right? Before going back up. So some sort of elongated thing like this where you kind of go sideways. Same thing that happened over here, right? You come up and then you have this bull flag in here, just like you have this bull flag in here, but you also kind of go sideways. You go sideways and then you break out and then you break out. So that was a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. Same thing here, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. So that's the big thing. If this correction doesn't work out, right, and if this isn't going to turn into a continuation for that impulse, and this 3-wave doesn't work out, then we still have another chance, right? Because what did I say? I basically wanted to see the current price area that we've been in. And look at that, guys. We're on a 3-day 9. Look at this. I don't even think I remember that. Yeah, I think that was coming soon. Yeah, so we have a 3-day 9. So I'm curious, that's on the Tether chart. Is it on this USD chart as well? Yes, we got a 3-day 9. And it's a doji, guys. This is good. This is good. And it's a perfected 9 too, guys. It's a perfected 9. Right? We have the 9 at the bottom. We have the 8, right? I want to see the 8 or the 9 sort of be that orgasmic ending, right? So that climatic ending to the end of the wave. And that's what we have here on this 3-day chart, right? And then also, not only we have a 9, but the 9 is coming off of bullish divergence and it's coming off of a 5th wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a lot of people are very scared to buy right now. A lot of, if you look at crypto Twitter, if you look at everywhere, everybody's flipping out, right? And rightfully so. Their altcoins have gotten killed. But this is a long man game. This is a strategic game. This is a marathon, right? This is like a lifetime, right? So these little pit stops on the way to success is necessary for you to continue adding to your position, right? But that's just me. That might not be for everybody. Okay, so the big thing that I wanted to see, right, is for this to go into reaccumulation. Basically, when you come up here and you're at the top, a couple things can happen. Either this is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout, or it could be an ABC, then breakout, right? So those are your 2 options for a correction, really. So the reaccumulation did not work out on the bull market support band. That was my main idea, and it did not work out. That's just the way it goes, right? That's what I wanted to see, but that's not what we got. We got instead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, 1, 2, 3 B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C. We got an ABC. So that's fine too, right? That's our second option. Now, We could have reaccumulation down here, but then again, it really doesn't matter because it's still in a three-wave move here. So basically, this is our last chance for this to be an ABC. Now we still have another chance, because if this turns into 3 and then we get another 3, we still have another chance at getting another 3, right? So then it becomes a more complex wave. So only if this fails, right? If this move fails, right? This WXY or ABC, if that fails, then we're going definitely into reaccumulation here, right? Before breaking out. But typically, if you get 333, that's a big bullish move to the upside. You don't have to go through reaccumulation anymore, right? Because every once in a while, the price has to go sideways for at least 3 to 6 months so that it can, you're basically layering in those support beams as you go up. So we have a support beam here, right? We have another support beam here. They're very close to each other. But look, we haven't had one in a long time, and this is a pretty elongated wave here. So we need some support. So there's a little one here, but it's not big, right? So we could get another big one like this, right? And basically these are layers of concrete steel, right? So that when the price goes up, the price is very, very heavy when it goes up, just like it's heavy when it goes down, right? So it takes a lot of strength to hold that price up, right? It's like holding, a long sword with one hand, right? It's eventually your arm's going to get tired. You need 2 hands to control it, right? This is probably another decent idea here, is basically just range bound in here. Now, it could do a couple different things. Now, this could also, guys, I haven't talked about this, and it's a little bit jumping the gun here, but think about this. Ready? Ready, 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 ready? This could be a shoulder. This could be a head, right? We could be coming up all the way back, guys, all the way back to 71K within a matter of maybe 2 months. Seriously, right? It's very early to determine that, but it is an idea, because we do have this beautiful shoulder here. It is very nice. It came exactly back to the top. This is perfect symmetry here, right? And this wave is very exuberant, which reminds me of a head, right? So if we start to round out here and we come back up, now we have a head, and then we would come back down again for another shoulder. And now what do we have? We have an inverse head and shoulder. So it's still very early, but that is a decent idea. Now the triangle I was talking about, that is out of the question. I forgot to talk about that yesterday. As soon as we broke that low, that triangle was gone. But it was a decent idea, right? We had 3 up, 3 down. So the triangle was like this: A, B, C, D, E, go. The problem is this wave took out this low, which means, right, the A, B, C wave is invalid, right? Because we wanted this to go up in D and E and then break out. So that's out of the question. But at least now we know and we can rule it out. So it's not in the back of our minds, right? But I do like this 9. I really do. It's a bullish hammer candle. The problem is we have another 2 days to go for this candle to close. So we'll see how it closes, when it closes. But yeah, it's kind of similar to what happened back over here. You had one. You can see right here we had 1, 2, and this big third wave. Same thing here. We have 1, 2, and the big third wave. And then what happened? Then we came down. Now we're coming down, and then we had that final push to the upside. Final push to the upside, right? So hopefully that final push can be as big as humanly possible, so that it can have a big distribution range, so that the altcoins can have the best shot at an alt season. So speaking of alts, let's jump into alts now. This video is definitely gonna go over an hour, I would imagine. So please hit that like button to help out with the algorithms if you can. I'd really appreciate that. So let's jump to, first of all, Matic. So Matic broke below our range here. You can say, well, who cares about Matic, right? But this is, you know, I was thinking it's got a good chance at holding, but breaking it, right, is okay. But we really need this to quickly come back, right, to be kind of like a liquidity grab, right? You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, right? So this is no longer a 1, 2 anymore, and it's no longer a triangle anymore, right? So what else could it be? Well, it's probably, you know, a larger three-way move here, right? So it looks like we had 1, 2, 3, we had a flat 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a large A, right? We came up in a B, and then we came down for C. So this could be, guys, right? A, B, C, a flat, an expanded flat, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a three-way pullback. So this could be a good bottoming area. I'm not saying the bottom is in, but somewhere along here, without breaking out this low, right? We have to stay above, you know, between 30 and I would say 37 cents, really, to hold that low and then kick off for that impulse, right? So then what you have is a finished fourth wave, right? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then a 1, 2, and now 3, 4, 5. So the whole thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll keep going. Let's jump to total 3. This is what I really wanted to talk about here. That is a beautiful doji candle, guys. This is the kind of candle that I really wanted to see. You know, this tells me that we're close, right? When you get these big dojis here, especially off of a fifth wave, right? I mean, even in total 3, what do we know, right? What do we know? So this is going to be kind of like the grand finale right here. First of all, we came all the way back down to backtest this area. That's exactly what we've been talking about. We didn't know what was going to happen, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I didn't know that's what was going to happen. But that was the idea in case, you know, if it does happen, we know, right? It is what it is. And it's actually a good thing that it did happen, right? Because you get this sort of three-wave shape, this breakout, right? And then you get a back test, right? And you want like a V-bottom. You know, you want sort of to get out of there rather quickly, right? Maybe build a little bit of a base. But all in all, right, we have an ABC, and then in C we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have bullish divergence though. That's one thing we don't have, but we do have hidden bullish divergence all over the chart. I mean, let me go all the way up to the weekly. I'm sure it's even there as well. Not so much. It's not so much there. It is definitely on the 4-day chart though. Yeah, it's strong on the 4-day. You can see right there, we're literally right at the same spot, right? Versus where I was here, we're all the way up here, right? So that's huge hidden bullish divergence there, right? Off of a 3-wave pullback, and we have 5 waves in leg C. So, you know, we could get another wave down on the microstructure, right? But that is yet to be seen. So on the microstructure, I would actually say it could be, guys, it could be something big. Like this could be 1, this could be 2, and then we get 3, 4, 5. It could be something extended like that. So I just want to point that out. You know, it could be big, right? And then if it is that big, we don't want to take out the bottom of these lows here. This is our ultimate area of must hold, or we're being threatened with reaccumulation. So, you know, we still might have downside to go here in this total 3 chart. Another way we can kind of interpret it here, if I go even smaller on the so we just don't have, okay, so here's wave 1, 1, 2, right? And then all of this would be wave 3. This is wave 4, and we still need wave 5. So we still need a 5-wave move down, right? And then what we would want to see, right? Because we don't have any bullish divergence on the microstructure. So let me actually go to the 2-hour chart here. Okay, so you could see the RSI got into definitely oversold, right? So when it goes into oversold and then it bounces back up, that's good, right? But then if the price comes back and takes out the low, but the RSI makes a higher low, that's bullish divergence, right? So you can see this is going up, this is coming down, and that's where you would want to see. So then same thing with theta, right? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then get an ABC pullback. That's where I would probably go long, right somewhere in there. So, you know, total 3 definitely looks, you know, not the greatest. Bitcoin definitely looks a lot better. But yeah, I mean, we have, guys, we have 1, 2, right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, right? So we want to bottom out in here without breaking this low and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that would be nice to see. Something like that. And then hopefully that 5th wave can really get us the hell out of there. Like, beyond the all-time high and go in actual expansion, right? But this is not the time to sell, right? If you're getting nervous and if you're not liking this, I mean, the time to, if you were going to sell, you should have sold a long time ago. You know, but for me, my strategy is the longer game, right? Because the longer game will pay you a lot more. And the time is going to pass regardless if you're in crypto or you're out of crypto. So you might as well be in it, right? Because the time's going to pass anyway. So yeah, that's about it for total 3. Let's jump to XRP, and you're going to want to see this for XRP here. So XRP did exactly what we've been thinking here for the longest time. I don't know how many videos I've said where I basically say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, complex B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's where the bottom should be, right? So I was saying it here, I was saying it here, I was saying it here. I don't know, maybe back over here as well. So I've been saying it for a while that this could be some kind of C leg, right? So I wanted 37 cents. Like, what did I say? I think I said that yesterday. Yeah, I basically said it yesterday, and that's exactly where we went. We exactly went to 37 cents. Like, perfectly. So that was kind of cool. You know, I've been eyeballing 37 for a while. Now I didn't get to capitalize on it. You know, I got in at 39, but you know, it is what it is. So is the low in, right? Is the bottom in? And you know, I would just go back and refer you to total 3, but let's see here. Let's go to the daily chart. See, it really looks kind of still bearish because you have this sort of 1, 2, and then you have another 1, 2, and then you have another 1, 2, and then you have another 1, 2, right? So it looks like a big 3. So you probably get 4, 5, 4, 5, something like that, where you kind of create this little channel down in here, right? And then you kind of bottom out. So yeah, I think we still definitely need some time here to play here. But basically, right, we wanted to get back down here. And you can go back and look at all the XRP videos. That's basically where the idea was, is getting back down in here. And now that we got there, right, it seems like a good spot, right? Now, there could be one more low, and that low could be 33 cents, but I don't think so. I would more say about 34 cents. And you can say, well, who cares? That's 1 penny difference. Yeah, well, 1 penny is still a lot of money. So yeah, I think we have a good shot here at this being a bottom. We want to see evidence of that, of course, right? And then also, when we go back over here, we were in a triangle, right? So usually triangles appear in fourth wave, right? We had A, B, C, D, E. So we had a triangle in here. So we had a 1, 2, right? And then we had wave 3. And then we had a triangle for wave 4. And now you can say 1, 2, right? Maybe this is 3 with a flat in the middle for 4, and then that's 5. I mean, that's possible, right? So actually, let me zoom in even more and see what we can find here. So do we have 5 waves in this wave here? So let me take all of this off. I know this is a long video, but you know what? A lot of stuff happened over the last couple days. So, I definitely recommend watching the whole thing here. There we go. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Okay, so, man, that's a big dump. That's a huge dump. Let's see how much that dumped here. That was all the way down to about 22%. Now, 22% is a lot when you're talking about a top 10 asset, right? I mean, XRP is a multi-billion-dollar asset, so 20% is big. It's a big move, right? Okay, so we have, let me start at the top here. So that looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's wave 1. And then it looks like, just to be safe, I would say that either all of this is 3 here, and this is 4, and that's 5, or this is, if this is 1, 2, 1, 2, this is 3, 4, and then 5. So we could have another low, but since it bounced up pretty high, I mean, we got a pretty big bounce here. Let's see. We went up approximately 11-12%. So that's a pretty big bounce, right? 12% or so. So now what we want to see is for this thing to probably come all the way back down, right? So first of all, we have 1, 2. It kind of looks like 3, 4, 5. But I would much rather prefer it if it did something like this. If we got something like this where we flagged out and then we got another high, that is going to be really, 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 really good, because now we have a 5-wave move, but so far we only have 3. So if this comes down like this and makes another high, then what I'm going to say is let's come all the way back down, because usually the first wave, or usually the second wave, retraces very deep, right, for that first wave. So if this is wave 1 and this is wave 2 usually retraces 80 to 90% of wave 1. So we could get all the way back down over here, right? So let me take that off the screen here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. And that would be a good spot to buy right in here. But if this thing starts rolling over now, coming down like this, and it starts being impulsive, then I'm going to start to think the low is going to be taken out, right? And then we have bullish divergence, right? We want to see, let me put the hour chart on here. So we were in extreme oversold on the 1 hour, but we don't have bullish divergence, right? And again, the price can come down, not making them big, usually when it's about finished, that final wave to the downside is usually not so bad. It basically comes maybe within 5% of breaking this low here. So somewhere around here, around that 34 cent area, right? So you have this lower low, but the RSI comes down and you make a higher low. So then that would be a good spot to say, okay, the bottom is probably in, or at least a local bottom. So if you get 5 waves up, 3-wave pullback, that would be the spot to buy right there. So we'll see. how that plays out. Not much else to say here. We can skim through a couple more charts. Let's go to the weekly chart here. By the way, do we have any 9s on XRP? I don't. Let's see, the 4-day chart. Okay, so we're on an 8, right? So that's pretty good. I mean, it's not too perfected, but you know, I wish it was a little bit more of a downtrend. It's kind of basically going sideways, and then we get an 8 with a big fall. So tomorrow we're going to get a 9 on the 4-day, which is a big deal. The 3-day chart, nope. Okay, so that's about it for XRP. And we don't have any bullish divergence either from that low to that low. I don't think. Let me see. Do we have it on the 5-day? Definitely not. Okay, so let's jump into another chart here, and let's just look around, see if we can see anything on the higher time frames here. So you can see Litecoin had a big dump, so it's no longer a 1-2-1-2 anymore because it took out the low, right? So what this could be, guys, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, we have a B, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2. So we have a 3-way pullback. So I don't think it's finished though. It doesn't look finished. It kind of looks like only 3. So I mean, it could be a WXY. So that's it for Litecoin. Let's look at Theta Fuel. I haven't looked at Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel, I'm sure, took a massive hit. But you know what? Theta Fuel, guys, is still very, very bullish. I've always said it's got a lot of wiggle room in here, right? And it still looks like an expanded flat. It still looks like an expanded flat. We actually came all the way down and we back tested. Look at all the support in here, right? I mean, you can see this cluster of candles right in here, right in here, right in here, all of these right in here, right? These 2 wicks right in here, and that's exactly where we came to. So again, we broke out, right? We had a big 1. First of all, we had a massive Wyckoff accumulation range. We had the spring down in here, right? We had this sort of M shape. We grabbed that liquidity, we broke out, and we back tested the bull market support band. Then we had a huge pump breaking all of this support or resistance, and then we came in at a 3-way move here. So A, B, C, sort of an expanded flat, and now we're back testing the top of this accumulation range, which is like the best place to buy, in my opinion. At least taking a chance, you know, for your hodl position, for the long-term future of your holdings. This is a good spot, right? You know, you might have a little bit more lows on the microstructure, but all in all, I mean, you know, on the weekly chart, you're pretty close here. So, you know, we could fall a little bit further. We definitely don't want to fall below this range right here. We don't want to fall below that purple area, right? Because if we fall below that, then we're threatening the second wave in here. Then it no longer looks like, you know, a potential 1-2-1-2. But so far, you know, to me, this looks like a third wave. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then we want to see wave 5. So if it's only 3 waves, then that means it's only 3 waves. And it's still very correctiveness. But you could see right here, we came down A, B, and this is C. So, and then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves in this current move here. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do we have any? And we have bullish DIs. We have bullish divergence on Theta Fuel. okay? And we have a big doji here, right? The candle's not finished, but you know, it is what it is. Usually what happens is after a big crash, you have a big wick that gets bought up, but then the following candle, which means it would be Saturday's candle, oftentimes retest 50% of this candle. So if you look at this whole candle here, you can count on the price coming back 50% and retracing that wick 50%, okay? Sometimes even more than that. So you can see we have a low, higher low, barely though. Yeah, we definitely have bullish divergence between the 4th and the 5th. So boom, boom, right there. So yeah, it's up for grabs of, you know, if this is going to be the bottom, which I think it could very well be. I mean, again, we got 5 waves, we got bullish divergence, we have a Bitcoin 3-day 9 buy, right? We just finished the ABC. So on the microstructure, we might need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We might need another low. But as far as the macro structure, it looks like it's getting very close. So is there anything else we can look at here? Algorand. Now you guys know the Algorand fractal right here. We broke below that. So yeah, we created that bullish divergence even between here, right? Boom, and then boom. So we have that bullish divergence there. And even the fractal we were looking at Algorand. So take a mental screenshot of that right there. So boom, boom, right? With this area here. Take a mental screenshot of that. Now look at this. Same thing over here, right? You have this area, boom, boom, right here, and that's that little area here. So where are we? So you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. We were right there, right? But then what happened? We actually made another low. So we came down here, right? After that fractal, after that breakdown, we made a low and then a slightly lower low, right? So then if you go back over here to where we are now, that's exactly what happened again. Like, exactly. So this should technically potentially be the low here, right? We came down the same fractal, right? We had these two areas here. We had this condensed consolidation in here. We broke down, we made a low, we came up, and then we made another low, right? So let's go back to the fractal. What happens after that? Let me actually just do this so it'll be easier here. I'm going to take a bars pattern. There we go. And then if you're still with me after an hour and 17 minutes, I really appreciate it. I think this is very good information. Not a lot of people go in depth as much as I do. So look at this. I might have to extend it a little bit, but something like that, basically. So is that going to happen? I don't know. But I'm just saying that's what happened before. So, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. We have bullish divergence all over the chart. We have hidden bullish divergence, I'm sure, as well. Let me go to the 2-day chart. Yeah, so we definitely have hidden bullish divergence on the 2-day chart as well. So you can see from here to here, and then from here down to here, right? So that's it for Algorand. Let's keep marching on. SHIB. I think SHIB is one of the ones that crashed a lot. And the reason why is because it went up so high and it had a long way to fall back down, right? So if I draw this here, we had a 1, 2, 1, 2, a big 3, and then we came all the way back down to back test the top of this here. So yeah, I think it's a good shot here. And do we have 5 waves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like we have 5 waves as well. Definitely oversold on the 2-day chart. So I would imagine that this thing maybe might need another low, but it needs to come back up, right? I want to see it come back up and retest some of this area, and then we can decide, is it going to break out or come back. Let's see, Ethereum. So Ethereum is still intact. I mean, we basically came right back down to the low. So this could still be an ABC, right? What's the stock market doing? The stock market is just defying the laws of physics, guys. I mean, look at the stock market. It's just going nuts. It's breaking out. I mean, goodness sakes. I don't know. Is the stock market closed today? It's Friday. We had 4th of July, so I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it's trading. I don't know. But, you know, the stock market is going insane. So the environment is there for a big bull market, right? Casper is the one that really took a crap. I mean, I took a big shot at Casper over here and over here. But, you know, I'm going to hold it. I'm not going to sell it. I still think it's got very good potential. I mean, it's at 2 pennies. This thing was at, you know, $6 at one point. So if it could just retrace, you know, just back over here, I mean, that's like a 10x just to get back to the swing high of 22 cents. So I'm going to hold it. Pepe. I mean, yeah, you know, we had 5 waves in Pepe. I'm not interested in it at all. It just doesn't, I mean, it can still go up, but it doesn't have the right look. Now, through all that carnage, guys, through all that massive carnage and bloodiness, look at XRP versus Bitcoin. It still did not take out the low, right? We had a massive carnage yesterday, right? And look, you would think the alts pairs would have gotten killed, but not XRP versus Bitcoin. I haven't checked Theta yet. But you can see there's massive bullish divergence here on the 2-day chart. So this was looking really good. You know, this was a huge wave. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you know, could this be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, it could still be that, right? But yeah, we're getting pretty close here to the lows. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. I definitely oversold Ethereum Classic. Had a big drop down. Not interesting. Theta versus Bitcoin. Now, Theta versus Bitcoin also did not take out the low, which is a good thing, right? We did not take out the low. So we actually made a higher low. So this could be still, though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could still get one more, you know, low. So VeChain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks good. Total is basically the same as Bitcoin. Same thing. I think that's about it. Let's see, gold and silver, kind of making a little bit of a comeback. Chainlink. I'm just kind of scouting across the market just to look and see if we can see anything. You see, the Chainlink doesn't look finished. It looks like it needs to come way down more. We got, you know, it just looks like it needs more downside. You know, you have this head and shoulders here. You're right at the neckline and you're literally breaking it. So, you know, the measured move of that thing, ballpark, I mean, you're looking at $8. And I wouldn't be surprised, right? Because Chainlink had this massive range down in here, but it was never back tested. So it just, Chainlink looks very bearish to me. It looks like it needs to come down But that's the thing. If Chainlink is telling that kind of a story, then that means others will probably go down as well, depending which story is being told, right? Most of the charts look like they're ready to go. Some of them might need another microwave low. Some of them, like Chainlink, needs a lot lower price action. It would seem. Filecoin. Now Filecoin can still be a 1-2-1-2, right? 1-2-1-2, right? So we just can't break that low here. And then on Filecoin, on the market cap, actually we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we almost have 5 waves in this wave here. Do we have bullish divergence? No, not on the 2-day at least. But we do have hidden bullish divergence. Definitely very strong. You could see from here up to here, from here down to here, right? Hidden bull. So, you know, it looks like it should be reversing soon here. XRP, we talked about it. Here's the Dow. So the Dow hasn't broken out yet though. So I want to see this break to the upside, you know, so that it deviates away from that extremely bearish fractal we were looking at, which is this one right here. You can see kind of where we are. So hopefully that does. If that happens, then, you know, it's lights out for everybody. So here's a couple of charts from my some friends of mine. You know, we have some hidden bull right there. We talked about that. We also have this wave here, right? It looks pretty decent. Still need that 5th wave up. Here's one from, I think, YouTube. Somebody posted it. Still need another low. So ADA, right? ADA is definitely one that I was keeping an eye on. We do have bullish divergence. That's one of the things I didn't catch yesterday. I wish I did. But ADA, right? I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, right? A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So let's see. Let's go to the higher time frames here. Definitely have hidden bullish divergence on this chart. You can see from down here up there, but this is relatively in the same spot, right? So yeah, I mean, this is like, to me, this is like the ultimate place to dollar cost average, at least starting to, you know, for me, I've been dollar cost averaging on this wave down. For example, I'll just show you on Theta, right? So obviously buying a lot here in the bull market support band. I'd never traced green candles. Back when we were over here, I was waiting. We had this drop. That's when I started dollar cost averaging on the bull market support band, and bought there, and bought a little bit there. We had another big drop. I started scaling in some more. We got back in here. I started scaling a little bit more, and then we had another big drop, and I'm starting to scale in even more. So I'm not being scared away, like just because I buy here and it goes lower, I'm, you know, running away. That's the time to get actually more aggressive. But hopefully, if you did buy, it wasn't so aggressive where you had some extra spending money. That's why you need time to go buy as well. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for this video. Definitely don't want to go over 90 minutes. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you can, hit that like button. It really helps out, especially with a 90-minute video. I'd really appreciate that. And drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. What coins are you buying? What coins would you want me to take a look at? And how was your 4th of July? Let me know, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.